What's going on, beautiful people? Look at Frank helping his wife, Abby. That is amazing. All right, y'all. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Frank and Abby. Abby really encouraged me to come on out to the FLOJOS, the 87th FLOJOS. So I want to say thank you, Abby. But it was very touching to see Frank supporting his wife, making it up that little climb before we entered in to this FLOJOS all out ride. All right, so you guys can see here, we're coming down the road, have a little bit of momentum, 34 miles an hour, and just finding my spot where I'm gonna tuck in and get ready for this ride to go. The guy right in front of me with the blue kit on, navy blue kit, I believe I'm going to sit on his wheel and we're going to ride this thing in. If you look at the rear camera, you can see Dave behind me, Nooks is behind me, and a few other people are behind me that I can't see. I believe that's Perry, not Perry, but Patrick sitting behind Dave with that bright orange helmet on. All right, so and then you got Jeffrey falling back right now off the start. So we're making our way. Again, this is going to be about 18 minutes and some change. So I need you guys to tuck in and get ready to go. So right here, I'm sitting behind the guy in the LEL kit with Jeffrey on my wheel, and we are pushing 32 miles an hour. Jeffrey has a little bit of a gap in between me and him from the rear camera, but we're all moving well because we're going downhill, and we're about to come upon the first little climb. And so you see here, pace has dropped to 26 miles an hour. Jeffrey and them have pulled out to my left-hand side because paces have dropped. You see here, Dave is about to come over the top of me, and then he's going to motion he wants to come in. I know you saw his hand right there, so he's trying to come in into this little gap right here, and I pretty much let him know, come on in. But I wasn't going to hit the brakes, especially because we're climbing right now, just a small little climb. But you will see here shortly, he will squeeze on into that little gap that's there to his right in front of me, and I will be drafting him. You also see Frank in the rear view camera coming up on me, and now we're rolling. Out to the left is Jeffrey again. You see him coming up. You can't see him because of the rear view camera, but he's moving up to the front, and Dave thought about jumping on that wheel, but I think he realized that Jeffrey is a small body, so he stayed tucked in behind the guy in the navy blue LEO kit, just because there's a little bit more draft presented for him. So right now, we're just sitting in on Dave's wheel with Frank on my wheel, and I believe it's Patrick behind him, and we're making our way. Right now, you see that pace is about 28, 29 miles an hour. I'm hitting just roughly anywhere between 200 to almost, actually 500 watts there. Got a good RPM of 101, 102 going on right now, just trying to keep the legs moving. You see Jeffrey up there now out the saddle sprinting. We're coming around this guy. I think his name is Mike. I met him a couple of times on the ride, so we just came around Mike with the red jersey on, and we're moving. So right now we're going 32 miles an hour, and we're making our way, and tempo is hitting it. I mean, this race this past Sunday was high tempo. They were not playing on that day. This is one day late. It may even be 2 days late depending on when this gets uploaded. But right now I'm on the inside. You see I'm to the right of the white line, just on a little bit of this shoulder. We have the lower Otay reservoir to our right currently as we come over this little climb. This small little roller you see right there with the FLOJOS kit, that is John. We call him Sugar Bay. He literally looks like the Salt Bay guy. Check it out. So again, tempo is 28, 29 miles an hour. We're moving. Again, jump right back on Dave's wheel. You see the nice little water over there to the right. Nice mountain range out here in this area on Otay Lakes Road. And we're actually going east towards Highway 94, also to Humboldt, California. So again, just tucked in behind Dave. He's a very strong and seasoned rider. He gives me a lot of pointers. You saw he was just out the saddle. Again, look at the pace. It's 34 miles an hour, and we're making our way on. And yeah, the pace is up. Frank is still on my wheel, so not a lot of movement happened in this ride because pace, the tempo was up. Usually, as you know, maybe you don't know, but when there's a bunch, when we're bunched all up, you have it's a very slow pace. But when it's streamlined like this, the pace is really up. So right now we're hitting 30 miles per hour and we're moving. And as you see, I haven't passed Dave. Dave hasn't. There's not a lot of people overtaking people because the pace is up, and we're just all tucked in, drafting, making it work. And on this ride specifically, I had completed 50 miles on Saturday. I went out about 3:30. I had some things to take care of Saturday morning at the church with the family, so we went there, and then I wasn't able to get out on the bike until about 3:30 on Saturday. So I did 50 miles, and then I had probably about 8 hours of rest recovery before waking up and doing the FLOJOS. So I probably should not have done this ride. More like in my training, it was actually set to be a rest day, but I went out anyhow, thinking that I could do it because I did 57 miles the previous Saturday, and then came out and got 6th place at last week's FLOJOS, the 86th FLOJOS. So still sitting here, as you see, we're going 30 miles an hour, still tucked in right behind Dave. Again, not a lot of movement, not a lot of action going on because the pace, the tempo is really up, and we're just moving along. Currently at 31 miles an hour. My RPM's 102 consistently. If I stop pedaling, it goes to 0 just to kind of rest the legs for a second. But after that, you see it's right back up to 94, 98. You know, it's right back up. So it's like 0 and then the 90s, 0, then the 90s, and over 100. So we're just moving along here. And you see motorcycles and stuff passing us on the left, cars passing us on the left, even though they're not supposed to because of the double orange line. But, you know, people going to be people. They're going to do what they're going to do because they got places to go. And we're not going fast enough for them. So, and you see we're all over to the right side of this lane, again, giving them room to do what they need to do. But again, not much movement going on during this FLOJOS. I mean, it was literally balls to the wall. We were going, and I was feeling it. Actually, in the neutral zone, as we came up to Hunt Parkway, I could feel my legs like, bruh, you didn't give me enough time to rest and recover. And I was like, just work with me. So they did good. We made it about 3/4 of the way. But yeah, you'll see here at the end that I had to back out. Off to the right is Skydive, Chula Vista. That is pretty much where a lot of the skydiving goes on. Here you see Ron on the right with the FLOJOS kit on with the orange helmet. We've passed them, and pace is still moving, 27, 28 miles an hour. Again, the little gap was there behind me. You saw Frank close that down with Patrick. With that navy blue kit, we're still passing people, and I don't think they were in our ride. You see Nooks coming up from the backside. Tempo slowed down a little bit, down to 18 miles an hour, simply because it's just a small little climb here. And Nooks can climb like none other. This guy is less than 100 pounds. I'm joking. But he's really small, and he can climb like it's nothing. I mean, he goes up climbs like they're flat. And that guy's just he's an amazing climber. So right now you see everybody's getting water, getting hydrated because it's a nice temperature out. It actually felt pretty good. Now we're going downhill, and people are letting their legs, you know, rest a little bit because we've been going over 100 RPMs, which is revolutions per minute, as well as holding our speed anywhere between 26 to 30 miles an hour. And as you see, the speed is up, but we were going downhill. So it'll drop here a second as we go down into the dip, and then we're coming back up. So now pace is 19 miles an hour. You see Jeffrey out the saddle. This dude is amazing. Like, he's out of the saddle now using a whole lot of energy, but this dude, these guys are just amazing. I don't know how they do it. I try to stay in the saddle as much as I can. And yeah. So there's Juan right there with the neon green Specialized LA Sprint comp bike. And here is Patrick coming up underneath me, again with the blue jersey. Juan tucked in. The smart move there, Patrick, letting the bigger guy get in front of you. And there's Nooks coming up. So he let Nooks jump on Juan's wheel. and now I'm on Patrick's wheel. These guys are smaller than me, so right now, not getting too much of a draft, but we're hitting 30 miles an hour again. And if you look at the rear view camera, you see that there's a little bit of a gap. We were hurting. I mean, the average for this is probably a good 28, 29 miles an hour. We were going. So you see that pain face right there of the CFT guy in my rear view camera, mouth wide open. We all was probably snotting. So right now, coming underneath, guy from Adams Avenue dropping back. He's got his jersey open, getting some wind in there because he's probably burning up hot because it was a nice Sunday. And you see, look at those legs of Patrick. I mean, he was probably just going 120 RPMs. Coming up on Sugar Bay, a.k.a. John, on my left right now. He's got on his Giro Factor Tech laces with his Force orange socks. And the funny thing is, I was actually going to wear those socks. I didn't tell him this, but I was going to actually wear those socks because I had on a orange canary jersey with my Pactimo custom bibs. I was going to literally wear the exact same sock game and shoe setup that he has on right now, but I decided to wear my Mood Cycling socks that I had won in a recent giveaway. Thanks again to Mood Cycling for that. But right now I'm sitting on John Sinadoza's wheel, rocking the FLOJOS kit made by none other than Nook's Design. That guy is a stellar designer as well as climber, as I mentioned before. So you see here a little gap in front of me, and I'm hurting. I mean, we're going 30 miles an hour. I'm doing 104 RPMs, and there's a gap in front of me, no gap behind me. I'm a big guy, so it's good for those guys to stay on my wheel because they get a good draft, as I've learned. So again, close the gap down between me and John. Put a little bit of effort in that. And you see my heart rate's up to 177. So my max heart rate is 195, but I was tired. I think I was really fatigued and tired. I didn't have enough time to recover. So I was feeling it early. Even though I'm at 177, I knew I didn't really have much left. I was not going to be able to punch into the 190s today, on that day. So my max may have been 185, 184. I'm not even sure, but we'll see here shortly what I maxed out at. But right now, you see John, he's sitting in on Patrick's wheel, and we're going. I mean, we're going 25 miles an hour. You see guys dropping back. Right there, you see Ron on this Adams Avenue guy in my rearview mirror, or rearview camera, and I actually watched Ron's footage, which was actually pretty good because he was 2 wheels behind me, and I looked like I was doing okay, but on the inside, I could feel it, like I wasn't making it. There's Ron right there, poked out with the not orange, but neon yellow and black helmet on the right of the rear screen, and then you have Jeffrey on the inside. So we got some PRT guys behind. You can see Ron right there real good. And again, we're hammering. We're getting it. 24 miles an hour, up a little climb. And we haven't even made it to Pio Pico yet, which is kind of like the halfway point. It may be just past half. But it's a good landmark. And a lot of movement starts happening after Pio Pico because the sprint is thereafter. So right now going 24, we're hurting. People are hurting. I know they are because I'm hurting. And I've been taught if you're hurting, other people are hurting. So I believe that there's other people out here hurting. You can see that pain face in the rearview camera. People are hurting. And this is what it's all about. How much can you suffer? How much can you endure? And like Jans Whit said, shut up, legs. And I kind of laugh at that because I'm telling my legs to shut up, but my legs are probably telling me to shut up too. So everybody telling everybody to be quiet. But we out here getting it in. So right now, still sitting in on John's wheel, and we were moving. Like there, if you can see, it's streamlined this whole time. Not a lot of movement going on. Everybody is drafting the man in front of them. I mean, not much is going on. You can see Juan, a couple people up with, again, the neon yellow bike, and it's just straight pace line. Whoever's up front was strong, and my goodness, you are amazing because this thing was thin the whole entire time. I mean, we're over 14 minutes into this thing, about to be 15 minutes in, and it's still a straight pace line. You see right now we're coming up on Pio Pico, And this is a good landmark, like, whew, almost there. But at the same time, it's like I'm hurting. So you see my heart rate's currently at 179 beats per minute. And I'm like, I don't know how much longer I can hold this, but I know that I'm past halfway point. I know that I'm almost to the end. And I'm hurting. You know, I actually got a message today from my coach, Jeff Bowens, and he was like, you were supposed to rest it yesterday. You were supposed to rest it on Sunday. And I told him my reason why I did it, and he was like, yeah, but you had 2 weeks back to back that were very hard. And I then was like, oh, I should have rested. And so because I didn't rest, I had the result that I had, and you will see what that result is if you haven't already seen in the previous video. That'll be up to the top right of the screen if it hadn't already popped up there, but it'll be up there. But right now, again, not making no moves. You don't see many people. Look at behind me. So now I popped out. Everybody's in the straight pace line. I'm gonna tuck back in here in a minute, but you see nobody's passing anybody. Everybody is on a wheel in front of them. Everybody. So I popped out there for a second, and I'm still debating, like, am I gonna make this? Am I gonna make this? I mean, my heart rate's at 177. I'm punching at 80 something RPMs. My watts are still anywhere between 150 to 200 when we're getting this in. I mean, it's low now, 50 something, but it's just, look, I mean, there's a little break up the road. You can see a little break up the road right there, and nobody is moving up the road. There's Nooks popped out right there, and he's going to jump back in. So there's not much going on. Dave is up there. You kind of can see his orange helmet. And John gets some water right now. And we're just hunkered in, just going. If you look at the rear camera, you see Jeffrey coming up on the left of the Adams Avenue guy. And people want to make moves, but nobody is making moves right now because the tempo was just steadily high, and it is amazing. And I'm happy that I made it as far as I did. Of course, I wish I could have made it all the way to the end, but it was rough out there. I mean, my goodness. And of course, you hate getting dropped, but figuring all the work that I've been putting in the past couple of weeks, coming up, getting ready for the CBR that's this weekend, this upcoming Sunday, November the 11th, 11/11, and it should make for a good event. And I ask that you guys would sit back and wait for the notification for those vids, the CBR video and the full commentary video that's coming. Also, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Please share this vid. Please just help your boy out. I'm up to 330 subscribers, and I'm on my way to 1,000. Let's get it. So we're almost to the end of this ride right here. You see a guy popped out up there. Not sure what he's doing. Actually, he's going to probably fall back, and you see, what do? I have popped. I have pulled out. John is getting away from me. Adams Avenue, Ron, Jeff, Rick, they all come underneath me. CFT guy, and then there is Perry, and I have been dropped. You see it there, big as day, dropped. Heart rate's at 179. Thank you guys for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. On to the next one. Your boy, C-Dup, a.k.a. Whit. Peace.